Hey everybody, Mayor Alan Weber here, Friday afternoon. Hello, Santa Fe. I'm in the mayor's office. Our regular Friday guest, Dr. Wendy Johnson. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening, watching, and spreading the word. Today we're going to talk about, again, start with COVID. And we are definitely not out of the woods. We've seen some numbers the last few days, 20 new cases, 22 new cases. We're not done with COVID. We're getting some good vaccination numbers. Yesterday, I think we had 1,700 people get vaccinated, second largest number at Midtown. But there's a lot of people who have not been vaccinated yet, and we have not yet hit that point where we can say with confidence that 70 to 80% of our Santa Fe County folks have all gotten their second shot. And until then, keep wearing your mask, keep practicing good physical distancing, washing your hands. With the current situation with variants, we need to continue to be very, very mindful. So, Dr. Johnson, you're our go-to person on these issues of progress as well as caution. How do you size up the situation?
Well, I think just as you said, we're not out of the woods yet. We have, especially with the back to school, we have several concerning, cases being spread in the schools. Of course, those kids may or may not. I mean, there's a serious form of COVID that kids get. It's rarer than adults, but it's not like kids can just get it and not worry about it. But then we also have the concern that kids can bring it home to parents and grandparents and other family members, friends, all of that. Because, I do see, it's very lovely to see, but like I walked by the bicentennial parks, and Little League was in force. And I think St. Mike's tennis team was out on the courts, and it was lovely to see all that. And a lot of people were masked, so that was great. But, a lot of the people weren't masked. And also, when we're playing those physical sports and getting close to each other, even though we're outside, the risk is much less. That's true. We still have to be careful because there's still a lot of spread. I want to just address, I think right now we're in a situation where most of the people who really were motivated to get a vaccine have gotten one. It's gotten real easy to get a vaccine. And what I'm seeing in my clinical practice is that the people who are left are people who might have a reason why they're holding off, like maybe they've had COVID, or maybe they're pregnant, maybe they're breastfeeding and they're just not sure about that, or people who are just dead set against getting the vaccine. So those are the two groups that I see in my practice and then I guess the third group are people who really are worried about the 1 or 2 days of sort of flu-like symptoms you're going to have. And so let me just take a second, if you would, to just address those groups really quickly. If you've had COVID before and you think, oh, well, I've had it, so I don't need the vaccine, a couple of things. One, with the new variants, what we're learning more and more is that the vaccines are actually very good against the new variants. And if you have COVID, though, you may not be protected from, if you've had COVID, you may not be protected from the new variant. So it's really important to get a vaccine. Also, just because you've had COVID doesn't mean your immunity is that great. Actually, a person who's vaccinated, their immunity is better than a person who's had COVID but hasn't been vaccinated. And the best immunity of all is somebody who's had COVID and also been vaccinated. So you have the opportunity to get super immunity. If you've had COVID, you should take advantage of that and go ahead and get the vaccine. And especially, again, to take care of variants. Now, for pregnant and breastfeeding folks, I would say that I understand the hesitancy there for sure. But now we have had thousands and thousands and thousands of pregnant women who have gotten the vaccine. And we know pretty well that there's no difference in any kind of adverse pregnancy effect, like miscarriage or preterm delivery or any other adverse pregnancy events. No difference between a vaccinated group and a non-vaccinated group. However, COVID itself is devastating in pregnant women. Pregnant women tend to get some of the most severe cases of COVID if they get COVID. I've had my patients life flighted to Albuquerque in the ICU, not where you want to spend any of your pregnancy in the ICU. So the risk of getting COVID, and it's still pretty high. If you've got kids in school and you're pregnant, it's still pretty high if to have risk to get COVID. So I would recommend that you talk to your doctor, certainly if you're pregnant. Maybe you wait till after the first trimester. If you're planning to get pregnant, go ahead and get the vaccine now. It's a perfect time. And for those folks in breastfeeding, the same thing, no adverse effects, and you have the advantage of passing on those antibodies to your kiddo. So
talk a little bit, give us some more updates on let's imagine that you convinced me I should get vaccinated. I've been a little bit slow, but my family's telling me to do it. I want to be able to get out. I want to go to the ball games when they start. I want to be in the community because we're social animals and we miss each other. All right, you convinced me, Dr. Johnson. Where can I get vaccinated? Do I need to make an appointment? Can I do walk-in? How easy is it? Does it matter whether it's Pfizer or Moderna or Johnson and Johnson? What are the current availabilities for getting vaccinated? How easy is it?
it's pretty easy. The two places that are pretty much doing walk-in and or easy registration and scheduling are the Department of Health and Christus for basically all comers over 16 years old. Both of those places are doing Pfizer. So this is especially important if you're 16 to 18, if you're over 16. And then this next week, we expect that to go down to 12 just for the Pfizer. So, starting next week, adolescents 12 to 18 years old can get vaccinated. Easiest way is go to the Department of Health website or call the Department of Health phone number, and they will tell you where the vaccination clinics are being held and how you can either walk in or register or self-schedule on the site. Same with Christus. I think you can go to their website and you can self-schedule for a vaccine on their site. Probably starting next week, you'll be able to do that if you're under 16, but right now 16 and older. If you're a patient of La Familia and maybe some other places in town like Presbyterian Medical Services or Presbyterian Hospital docs, you can probably also get one through your primary care provider. I know at La Familia you can. And so if just call us up, if you're a patient at La Familia, call up your primary care doc and ask them if they're doing it through their clinics. The bigger hospital systems are.
Now, Desert Sage Academy has had some walk-in dates, as I understand it. Are you familiar with what those are? Do you know what they are?
Yeah, I don't have them off the top of my head. I can go on the website here and look, and we can tell people while we're talking. But I think on Fridays they're in Pewaukee. There have been Pewaukee times on Fridays, and then Desert Sage has been like 2 or 3 other days a week, kind of in the late afternoons or the late morning to afternoon kind of hours. But let me just look and see if I can get those hours and tell people right now.
Yeah, it is important.
But I mean, yeah, and I think that the good news is that let's see. It might be on the site. It's just quick to see. Find an appointment. So I don't see the walk-in sites right now on here. Quick look, but yeah, but they're easy to get on the Department of Health website, or if you call that phone number.
Go to the Department of Health website and you'll find all the ways you can get a vaccine because, as you said, there is vaccine. In the early days, we had a lot of people eager to get vaccinated, but not enough vaccine. Now we've got vaccine, and we've got to get out to the folks who haven't been vaccinated quite yet. And that's exactly right. To be done. Do you have off the top of your head what the vaccination numbers are for Santa Fe County at this moment? Last I checked, we had something like 60 or 65% of the folks had gotten 1 shot and 50% had gotten 2 shots. We're making progress, but we still are not far enough along.
We have almost 60% of New Mexicans with one dose, according to the Department of Health website. And here's the Santa Fe numbers. Santa Fe numbers are better, almost 70% with at least one shot. And we're at 50% fully vaccinated. So go Santa Fe.
Yeah, so
We're
that's
beating the
setting a
state.
good mark. And by the way, I was at the prayer breakfast to participate with the National Guard annual prayer breakfast. The governor was there. Police were there, fire was there, first responders were there, chaplains were there from different religions, and the governor gave a phenomenal talk about just how grateful we should all be to all of the first responders and the National Guard. She cited in particular when those first cruise ships landed over in Seattle and on the West Coast, and there were people from New Mexico on those cruise ships. It was the National Guard that went and got them and brought them home. The National Guard is helping to give people those vaccinations. The National Guard is there to help people when they need all kinds of assistance. And so as we urge people to get vaccinated, we should also continue to thank people who are making the vaccinations happen. It is a really important part of our public health effort that National Guard people, hospital people like yourself, like the folks at Prez and Christus, the police and fire and first responders, we still have cases. Those cases need people to look after them and get them the help they need. We still are very grateful to the nurses, the docs, the first responders. When we say we're not out of the woods, we mean it. There are still cases that require serious emergency medical help. And it's another reminder that vaccinations are the game changer. That's how you keep your family safe.
Absolutely. No, that's really true. And we're all working really hard. We want to be done with this. You know, most of the healthcare workers that you're talking about have been, you know, losing sleep a lot over the last year and working very long hours. And we'd be happy to be able to feel like we can go away and take a vacation. I'm just looking at the Department of Health website, and there's a link you can click. If you just go to the vaccine, Department of Health vaccine, you can choose to create a new profile and schedule an appointment. You can choose to look at the dashboard and look at how many people are vaccinated, or you can look at the vaccine events. And I, you know, you have to scroll through and look, but it looks like both today and tomorrow there are a number of events, both in in Albuquerque, you know, probably in Santa Fe, at Walmart, Walgreens, Smith's pharmacies, Albertsons pharmacies. I'm not saying all of these are in Santa Fe necessarily, but there's a big long list for both Friday and Saturday on the weekends too. So take a look at that and go ahead, and it seems very easy. Walmart in Edgewood even. So, you know, anyone who's watching this, who's in the area, you should be able to find something near you in the next few days.
Yeah, and it is the game changer for everybody. And I know there are some folks who may be a little bit vaccination shy, but it's not just about each one of us. It's about all of us. We need all of us to protect all of us. We need to look after our grandmas and grandpas. It's Mother's Day on Sunday. Get a little vaccination for mom, so that mom is safe,
Right.
and the whole family is safe. And if you do, I'm talking to the public now, if you know somebody who is a little hesitant, they have questions, there's plenty of good information now. Dr. Johnson and other of our public health folks will make frequently asked questions answered at
Right.
your, you know, if you've got something you don't quite understand or you're not comfortable with, there's good information. We have public health doctors who can really answer your questions. And
Yeah.
just one last word, Doctor, and then I'll turn it back to you. I do think I was on a Zoom call earlier this week with a number of DOH employees. And the subject that we turned to was gratitude. And it's a subject we should all remember. And it's not just because it's Mother's Day coming up, but it is Mother's Day coming up. Gratitude is something we should all take a minute and express. I told the DOH folks, they probably don't hear from ordinary New Mexicans how grateful we are for all their hard work. When we started down this road, we had no idea what we were in for. Nobody knew anything about COVID-19. We didn't know what the seriousness of it was. We didn't know if there would be a vaccine in a hurry. We didn't know whether masks helped. It took education, it took communication, it took collaboration, cooperation. And here we are more than a year and a half later, and we are within sight of 70% vaccination rate for Santa Fe County. And it's because we've got a great group of people who've been working at this without any without any let up for 16, 17, 18 months. Frontline workers, doctors, people like you have been every single day answering questions in English and in Spanish, taking help to where people can get the support they need. It's a good day to say thank you to everybody and have a little gratitude to each other. It's a community effort. It's community health. That means it's a community effort. And I think we should all take a breath, look back a little bit on how far we've come, and then finish it up, finish the job. We've got the tools, we've got the vaccines, let's finish the job. So your final thoughts, Doctor.
Well, I think that's right. It's interesting you say that because we had an all-staff meeting at La Familia this week, and remember that your healthcare workers, your grocery store workers, your restaurant workers, a lot of us are happy to be getting back to normal, but a lot of us also have a lot of trauma we're carrying from the last year, and it means a lot for us to hear thank you. So, and also to say thank you to others too. So it really does, it's touching, and not just healthcare workers, but all the essential workers who have been really on the front lines throughout this. And that's a great message. The only thing that I wanted to end with is that, I said this last week, but it bears repeating. Over 1 billion vaccines have been given out worldwide of all the different types of vaccines. And in all those different types of vaccines, the safety profiles and the efficacy, it's really like no other vaccine we've had. And we've been able to eliminate polio, eliminate smallpox through vaccines. So it would be great to be able to eliminate this coronavirus threat, and learn a lot, because we will probably have future pandemics in the future, and we'll be able to nip them in the bud maybe faster. But it takes us really getting over this last hump, realizing these are the safest and most effective vaccines we've ever had. And if you haven't already gotten one, do whatever you need to do to overcome your hesitancy and sign up and get one.
Thank you, Doctor. And thank you. I want to say thank you to you for all
Thank
you've
you.
done. It's great to have had you as my weekly Dr. Fauci surrogate right here in Santa Fe, and your whole team has done great work for our city. So here's a great big attitude of gratitude toward you and your whole team.
Thank you. And thank you on behalf of everybody at La Familia. We certainly enjoy serving the city and the county. So thanks, Mayor. And we'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll be able to end this at some point.
I hope we have more good, better news next week, lower caseloads and higher vaccination rates.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Wendy Johnson, as usual, our Friday guest. We are not out of the woods, but we know how to get out of the woods, and that's to get vaccinated. A couple things I mentioned. One reason to get vaccinated is to go to the ball game. The Fuego season opens June 4th. You want to be in the ballpark, you got to get yourself vaccinated. Be safe. I went out on Saturday to see the Little League T-ball start of the season. The Cubs and the Tigers, the Cardinals and the Red Sox. It was fun. There were family members there, everybody wearing masks, people being really responsible. And that's what we've got to do if we're going to lick COVID. We've got to stay focused, stay responsible. And remember, there is fun to be had if we can get out there and get vaccinated. Friday, April 30th was Arbor Day. There was a great tree planting over on the south side. Thanks to Melissa McDonald and our Parks team and the Boys and Girls Club for facilitating the planting of those trees. Oh, nice thunder in the background. We have a Tree Smart program in Santa Fe. We're focusing on the canopy of trees for our entire community. We kicked it off on the south side, build up the canopy. Those trees keep our community softer, more beautiful. They also reduce the heat load of the sun in the heat of the day on pavement. We will be planting more trees thanks to the Tree Smart program. Great kickoff thanks to the Boys and Girls Club. Last night was the Mayor's Awards for Excellence in the Arts. It was a Zoom ceremony. It was great fun. My friend Carlos Medina and I were the co-hosts. Carlos himself, of course, is a great artist, a musician, a stand-up comic, a performer of great capability, facility, and excellence. And we were able to recognize a number of individuals and groups for their contribution. Of course, arts and culture is Santa Fe. Arts and culture is how we live, who we are. It's our identity. Certainly, it helps contribute to the economy, but even more than the economy, it contributes to our identity. It gives us brand Santa Fe of arts and culture and performance in so many ways. The different awards last night, the Mayor's Award for Excellence in the Arts, Lightning Boy Foundation, was recognized in memory of Valentino Lightning Rivera, hoop dancer from Pojoaque Pueblo, who passed away at the age of 8, but left a great legacy for hoop dancing and for now teaching others to be hoop dancer. Arts Innovator Award went to the Santa Fe Independent Film Festival, which is a remarkable film program. It stretches over months. It takes place, it's over 100 films are screened during a 5-day festival, but that's not all that the Independent Film Festival does. Our community is filled with people who make movies, who act in movies, who write movies, who produce movies, who particularly are in the overall business of movies. Again, it's part of our economy. It's also a way of defining Santa Fe. We gave the Culture Connects Award to Israel Francisco Aros Lopez, member of the Arts Collective on the South Side, bringing arts and culture to people in parts of our community who are often overlooked. He himself is a community-minded poet, artist, mentor, muralist, and gardener. And what started out as a mural project has now turned into a community-wide engagement over arts, culture, gardening, food, helping people identify themselves as an important part of the Santa Fe community. Philanthropy Award, Andrew Wallerstein and Mary Sloan, who have been enormously generous and supportive of arts and the creative cultures in Santa Fe. They are both great philanthropists. Mary is a photographer. They've supported Site Santa Fe, the New Mexico School for the Arts, the CCA, the New Mexico Museum of Art. Just a tremendous couple adding great value to arts and culture in Santa Fe. And finally, the Melissa Engstrom Youth Artist Award went to Theo Kutzko, a young, talented artist with so much ability in so many areas, from music to graphic and visual arts. Theo is young and a tremendous artist. That was the award last night, or those were the awards last night. Carlos and I had a great time hosting, and next year we hope to do it live and in person with more music, more dancing, and a real festival celebrating the arts in Santa Fe. Food Depot food distribution, Saturday, May 8th, 8 to 10 a.m., Santa Fe Place Mall. If you need help, that's the place to go to get help. And while we're talking about help, there is a new program that I was able to talk about today on a webcast with our friends from the state of New Mexico. It's a program called ERAP, ERAP, which is the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. Money from the federal government, $160 to $170 million is here in New Mexico to help people who owe back rent, who are worried about being evicted, can't pay the back rent, are worried about whether they will end up homeless. ERAP is there to help. It is a program of grants. It is money you do not have to pay back. It will pay back rent. It will provide 3 months of forward rent. It could also help pay off a utility bill. If you need help, contact the City of Santa Fe. Get in touch with our community services team or call the mayor's office. We will hook you up with the ERAP program, Emergency Rental Assistance Program. It is a lot of money to help people pay the rent, avoid evictions, catch up on back rent, pay forward rent. It's there to help you if you need help. Another thing that is still ongoing, a very important community activity, we're still looking at replacing the city's old, outmoded, obsolete streetlights with new, energy efficient, environmentally better LED streetlights. There are streetlights in different parts of the city that you can check out, little test sites. Let your voice be heard. Check them out. See what you like and what you don't like, what you would like to see in your neighborhood or on a major arterial. Take a look at the city's website if you're looking for more information about where those sites are. And please do speak up. There's a chance for everybody to weigh in about the new streetlight project. At the end of the day, we are hoping to become designated a dark sky city. That means we'll meet the test, the criteria for the International Dark Sky Association. I was on the phone earlier this week with the executive director of the International Dark Sky Association to get more information about what we have to do to qualify. There are a number of variables that go into a dark sky designation. Right now, we're paying a lot of attention to the part of the factor that involves the color of the light on the light spectrum, the Kelvin factor, but there are other factors as well, lumens, as well as the leakage from the light fixture that goes up into the sky and leaks into the dark sky night. There's energy efficiency ratings. There are requirements from other jurisdictions like the federal, the state highway department or the international engineers, people who are evaluating these fixtures. So it's more like a multiple factor solution. An important one, of course, is Kelvin, but overall, we're looking for a solution that fits Santa Fe, that keeps our community looking the way we want it to look so that we continue to have that ambiance that is special to Santa Fe. There is on this, in this technology, there's the ability to have smart technology so that during certain times of night, say from midnight to 4 a.m., you could actually dim the light and make it go a little bit darker for a few hours every night and reduce the light because we don't need as much maybe between midnight and 4 a.m. in certain parts of the city. We can have different lighting configurations in neighborhoods compared to major streets. So all of this is up for discussion and your voice matters. Please do weigh in. That pretty much covers it for, one other great thank you. I should say thank you again to our wonderful library team. You know, we're very fortunate that Santa Fe is part of the NEA Big Read. The book is Into the Beautiful North by Luis Alberto Urrea. On Cinco de Mayo, there was a dance performance in front of the main library. I was there with the ambassador, consul general from Mexico, and went inside to look at the new laptops and hotspots that are available for all of us with a library card to check out from our libraries. If you need a hotspot, if you need a laptop, the libraries have them to check out. Another great innovation, a great thoughtful offer from the Santa Fe Public Libraries. That will wrap it up for today. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Thank you for getting your vaccine in your arm. Thank you for helping your family members get vaccinated. Remember, Sunday is Mother's Day. Say thank you to your mom. Say thank you to the mother of your children if you're a dad. Be very generous to each other. Mother's Day is a special recognition of the role that moms play in our community and in bringing our families better health and better well-being. So till I see you next week, have a good weekend. Stay safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Take care of our community. Together, we will all take care of the city we love, the city of Santa Fe. Be well. See you next week.